Alright guys, how is everybody doing today? Why is the sound still coming out over here? Oh, hold on. Come on, sound, where's the sound coming from? What? Hold on, let me try to get rid of this sound, guys. Oh, there we go. Okay, there we go. The sound stopped. How is it going, everyone? I thought I'd go a little bit earlier today just to see if people that usually don't catch these are able to catch them, because I'm usually really late. Everybody complains that I'm really late and stuff. Why is there a massive delay to start? Well, that's because I have to set up a bunch of stuff. I have to test. That's just the nature of how these things work. And usually I let a lot of people kind of, come in, and then we can start a conversation here. Because most of these are not me talking about stuff that I'm doing, but more about stuff that you guys are doing, right? These are highly interactive. I'd seen a lot of you starting to complain that they're kind of basic, but you have to keep in mind that 80% of my viewers are brand new, are first-time viewers. And so that's the reason why they keep asking the same question, is because there are a bunch of new people that come in and start asking questions. So that's why, I kind of do this. I gotta figure out when we can do the more advanced stuff, right? Because I get tired of talking about all the, all the basic stuff, the same questions over and over. So I could understand if you guys don't find, if you guys already know are building, if you guys are already at a higher level, if you don't find these as entertaining or as engaging and stuff. But you have to keep in mind there's a ton of people coming into this thing. There's about 200 new subscribers to my YouTube channel every day, and that's actually low. It was, for a little while, it's been like 300 new people. So about 10,000 people, close to 10,000 people a month that are coming in, that are finding the videos, and they're like, oh my God, we can do this? Let's do this. But I have some questions. And so I get hit with a bunch of questions everywhere. And I think the easiest way to answer these questions are here, because I can sit here for an hour and a half, and I can just, one after the other one. And then that's the way that I can answer. If I make a video, I've been thinking about doing the videos on the questions, right? Of course, that takes a long time. It takes me 5-10 hours to make one video where I answer 1 or 2 questions. And so I haven't had the time to make videos this whole month. Probably, it's taking me longer to get everything done that I have to do in my life, to all the stuff that I've been putting off for so long, then I can now get back and do a bunch of videos. But with all that said, let's look at what you guys are doing and what you guys are saying. Good earlier, says David Sembrano. So how many hours does this self-admitted illegal? It's like so stupid. Oh, I have a fan here. Okay, let's ban this guy. Yeah. Let's see. Unwanted commercial content? No, not spam. Hate speech? Sure. No, that's not hate speech. That's harassment or bullying. There you go. This guy's harassing me. There we go. Get out of here. We don't need your attitude here. Let's see. We want battery deals? Oh man, there's battery deals every day. I actually just heard back from the UK guy. He's sent me samples, right? Of course, because I don't want to push batteries that I don't know if they're any good. So I have to get samples, and he just sent them. I guess it took him a little while to get to them and stuff. And so he says that they might be here later this week. Well, yeah, it's Monday, so that's okay. So there's time for it to be here this week. And then after that happens, then I have to do a little bit more work and set it all up for him, so that we got to make sure that, we don't have a bunch of problems like we've had in the past. there's quite a bit of work that goes along with trying to sell batteries. Um, it's like it's just so easy to like press the button and pay, but then someone else has to go and process the thing and keep track of all the orders. And so, especially for people that are not used to or set up for that, which most of these people that have cells, that is the case. A lot of these people are not set up to accept payments and process orders. So then, we kind of have to kind of walk them through by the hand kind of thing. There's a link if anybody needs battery sales. Also, I just got heard that batteryhookups.com is almost ready. They're working on the inventory, uploading stuff there, so I'll be able to share. And apparently, those are going to be like more steady supply of cells, which is where I've been having problems, right? Because I make money by commissions, right? If I point at you guys and to a new source of cells, then I make money, right? But if it's if it's only a few hundred cells or 1,000 cells, then when I announce it and I go, hey, go get, there's a ton of people that are watching me, and then they go and share it, and then they buy it using their affiliate link, so I don't get commissions off of that, right? So if there's 1,000 cells that go on sale, maybe I get commissions on like 200-300 of them, right? So it hasn't been working out very good for me, but apparently on the website there's going to be a more larger source of cells there, so that's coming up around the corner too, and so it's going to be pretty good. Brazil watching, there we go. Brazil is in the house. Marco, welcome. Let's see, why is there a massive delay to the start of each stream? Oh, I answered that one already. Are the 40 volt A123 modules crap? No, I wouldn't say they're crap. By the way, I saw that one of you guys were saying that we should take one apart. I actually tried to put the video. Yeah, it's not loading up. Let's see.
Portland is only planning on spending $70 million in its first year. That's jump back to the left. After it was signed by over 3,100, it was sent to CEO of Google to China. It starts off reading, dear sir, we believe that Google should not be in the business of war. Therefore, we ask that the project may be canceled and that Google draft publicize and for a clear policy stating that neither Google nor its contractors will ever build warfare technology. It's not one of Google's core tenets, but it's going to be evil. But also, I know Google's parent company Alphabet, they removed that motto back in 2015. I'm not saying at this moment they're like, oh, let's start being evil, but just random thing I wanted to share. The letter also responds.
So the media source, I'm gonna took that down. Oh, 1 2 3 1 2 3. Can you guys hear me right now? That is the question. I don't know. This doesn't work. So here's me trying to put these together. Let me try and check online if you guys can hear me. Bad audio. Okay, yeah, so bad audio. I have to set it up correctly. Let's see. 1 2 3 testing. I don't know. This doesn't work. Yeah, no, the sound works. Okay, never mind. This is me taking those apart, and I kind of did the whole thing. Oh, that's why. Let me set up the thing where you can see the entire. There we go. That's better. Transition there. There we go. So it takes a while, and you have to be really careful. These are not crap. I don't know how they graded the ones that Tom has, right? Because I haven't gotten my hands on some of those, right? Because it's just, there's just too much battery for me to order, and I've been ordering a bunch of them. So the problem is that the energy density is not as high as you would want to be. But of course, for like POWERWALLS, it's totally fine. And so they work out. It's just, you'll have to buy a bunch of them, right? Because they're like, these brand new were like 700 watt hours per module. So you compare that to the lithium ion cell density, and it's like, remember my little solar, what was it? The solar generator. So that one was for about 500 watt hours, right? And it was a tiny little, like the camera, like a little Pelican case, and it had everything inside, like it had the inverter, and then it had the thing, and so yeah, these are like not very. So these are also not only like not brand new, so they're less than 700 watt hours per, per module or whatever. So it's way less. Ama, está en vivo, ¿qué? Hay 200 personas viéndola. Está en vivo. I'm just letting my mom know that she's in my stream. They don't seem to understand how this works. That there's a bunch of people watching on the other side of the screen, so so that's what happens. Oh my god, I have a phone call. Who is this? I don't know who this is. I don't answer unrecognized phone calls. But my wife texted me. Let me see. Let me see if that might be her though. Let me just check very quickly. The deli? No, just something good. All right. Where were we? Anyways, well, can I put that on? Maybe I can set that on my main thing, on my main screen. Yeah, let's do that. Right, so we can add video intro. No, theme song, today's video. No, well, come on. Oh, here we go. Video, main overlay media source. There we go. Let's open this one. I'm starting to figure out how to use this thing here. Then I'll go and read all your comments right now and see if we can just kind of get this thing going. So then that's that one. Wait, so video capture? Yeah. No, that's Skype. Cancel? No. Well, what I've been doing? Oh, whatever. I don't know. All right. Now we're back. There we go. Mark is red. Okay, I'm just getting bombarded by all kinds of messages and texts and phone calls and sorry. All right. Now I'm back. Yeah, so those are not crap. It just depends, what your application. These are kind of wrong for Powerwalls. These are power cells, right? So they can put out like 5 Cs or 10 Cs, something like that. So these are great for like cars and stuff, but they're actually not that great for cars because they're low energy dense. So because they're used and because we have them and because Tom is kind of selling them to us like not for a lot of, well, they are kind of expensive. They're not the cheapest. Yeah, we can totally use them because they're there. And it's just, I haven't seen people do any like capacity tests and stuff, right? Like the sort of stuff that I do when I get batteries. So someone else kind of has to, because there's a bunch of you guys out there. And if not, I mean, and I don't know how many of those Tom has. I think last time I saw, there was like not too many of them that it would be worth it for me to like order one and then, do the stuff. So I did take that one apart. And I will make a little video how to take it apart because I know there's a bunch of you guys that bought them and stuff. And then I have one of those modules taken apart. I'll like show you how to make like a 12-volt battery. There's a lot of people that are asking how to make a 12-volt battery using lithium. So that's a great way to do it. You buy one of these modules, you take it apart. But it's a pain in the rear to take these apart, by the way, because they're kind of scary. They put out like 70 amps, and so when you short it out, like you really short it out, it melts stuff and sparks and it like pops. And so yeah, you just have to keep that in mind. What time is it there, Jehu? So it's 3:52 p.m. My wife's about to get home in, I don't know, 20 minutes, and so then we eat dinner after that. That's what she was asking me, what she should get for dinner and stuff. Yeah, my mom's on the live feed. Is there a similar effect to the peaker effect in lithium batteries? No, I mean there is, but it's really small. You can't. It's almost unnoticeable. It's really, yeah. So it's not enough to actually call it an effect. It's really marked. It's really a big issue on lead acid, and that's why you have to kind of account for it. But on lithium batteries, you don't have to, so that's okay. Australia's in the house. Awesome Aussie. There we go. Watch on YouTube. Anybody did a 8,000 watt pack already? The less cells you use, the less battery life you get. Yep. The bigger battery, the better. I always say that. Bigger battery, it's better. I have 36 volt inverter now. Any better options for the 8123s to use? I mean, yeah, there's a bunch of them. Oh, you have a 36 volt inverter. Oh, you could use the well, I don't know. Those are also kind of expensive. See, like, there's a bunch of these. These are 9S, so they're like a little bit low for 36 volts, right? But Tom has a bunch of these, and they're great because they already have the little thing. These are basically like the ones that we use, the hoverboard ones, right? So he has a bunch of, except that they're not 10S. These are 9S. so I think that's the reason why they ended up, because these are brand new. I think these are like unused, and I think that was the reason, because they were able to put 9 in here, and they got 9S when they really wanted 10S or something like that. I think that's what Tom said. So there's a bunch of these. We haven't found a way to use them. Well, I have, right? You can use them. I mean, it's got issues, but yeah, you can use these. I think Tom is selling these kind of. I think he put a listing for like 10 for like $240 or $249 something. So that's kind of cheap, right? So that's one way. That's much more energy dense and stuff. And you wouldn't have to take them apart. Although you wouldn't have to take the LiFePro4 apart if you're using 36 volts. I think those work at 36 volts right off the thing. Turkey's in the house. Almost 1 a.m. here. Core Smith, where are you? Oh yeah, what's up with the new connectors you were mentioning for the PCB balance connectors? Yes. So let's talk a little bit about that. For those of you who don't know, it's really hard to put batteries together, like soldering, spot welding, all that stuff. It's for like people that are crazy, you know? I mean, I don't know, not crazy, but like very dedicated in putting batteries. I chose these little strips. A bunch of people chosen the other, like just cables and stuff. It's kind of messy. Even someone that tries to be like super neat like me, right, when it comes to all these batteries, it's still kind of messy. There's like all kinds of blobs of solder, all that nonsense. So it's hard. So what I did in order to fix that, I came up with a PCB, a printed circuit board. I hadn't seen anyone do that. We talked about it for a long time, and eventually I was like, man, I need to do this. Made a call, then you guys made it, right? So where is one? Let's see. Oh yeah, here we go. Let me get the thing though. Oh, here we go. So this is the latest version. Actually, no, this is not the latest. No, this is the first version. But anyways, we chose these little connectors here. These are Arduino header pins for the balance leads, and I thought it would be okay. I think they are okay for the balance leads, because there's not a lot of power that goes through there. These are not designed to transmit power, right? Because they're just for data, right? For the Arduino things, right? So I thought, well, there's not going to be a lot there or whatever. But as it turns out, now that I've gotten several batches of those connectors, they're terribly like low quality. And I actually have I have a little thing here. This is, I don't know if you're going to be able to see. This is like a little fork. That's the pin mechanism that goes in there. There's a tiny bit of surface area to connect those pins. and so they kind of fail a lot. You gotta like squeeze them, you gotta like move them around. Sometimes like the cells are not making, and mostly we're gonna be using them to balance, right? Which is gonna be a very low like levels of energy or of power. But also for the important thing is for like voltage sensing, because we want to know what our packs are doing for the BMS and just for monitoring and stuff. So sometimes you have to like wiggle them around. Some are like super low quality where they won't even like, they're not pointing at the front, so you have to like just they're just kind of really bad. They're really cheap and really low quality, right? So there's a few of you guys that have ordered some of these boards and are trying them out, and that's really helpful for me because, well, not everybody does things the same way, and something that works for me doesn't necessarily work for everyone else, and so that's very helpful. There's a bunch of you guys trying them. There's a lot of you guys that are actually way more knowledgeable about electronics than me. I don't know what I'm doing. This is my first venture into making PCBs and stuff. And someone that is very, very knowledgeable said, you know what, those are too cheap. I tried them. I had several fails. Even doing like doubling them up. He first said you should double them up. So you have 16 pins for 8 conductors, right? So you have 2 pins per every connection, so that one fails, then you have a backup to the other one. And so he did that with his boards, and he's been trying and testing them, and he's like, yeah, if it was me, I wouldn't use those. And so I'm like, okay. I'm doing my tests for the ones that I have, and they've been working okay, but I know that at least for him they haven't, right? So there's at least one case already that it hasn't. So he suggested that he uses these and like all the stuff that he does, and that's what he's gonna end up using for his design. And so I thought, well, I should listen to this guy. This guy knows what he's talking about. He has a lot of experience in designing printed circuit boards and designing high-end electronics, right? So I just ordered some and they're here. So now I'm gonna put these to the test. The problem is, of course, that these are 16 pins and the board currently has only 8. So what I did is I just cut the one row of pins, and you'll be able to use them here. So they will be backwards compatible. They just won't have that extra pin, the double pin to do that on existing boards. So if you order your boards, you will be able to upgrade to these if you haven't already soldered all your pins there. If you have them, maybe you should wait, because I think these are not going to be much more, but they are going to be a lot more stable, a lot higher quality. I don't know if they're going to be easier. They're not hard. I just put this together right now, and it's like no big deal, right? So I'm going to do this, and then the final video that's going to happen. So I've been, one, I haven't had time to make the video. 2, I don't want to really make this video, before I do all the testing and before I get feedback from all you guys that are doing, the early builds and stuff. I know some of you guys are asking, like, how do you do this? It's not clear how you order it, where you order it, how, all this other stuff. And that's kind of by design. I don't want people to go crazy. I think there's been almost like 2,000 boards ordered. Even though it's kind of hard, you have to go to my Facebook group and go to the announcement, click on the thing. Now there's a little bit more instructions how to do it, but before there was not even instruction on how to do it. It was just a link. I can only imagine once I make it very clear how to do it, and then once I show you all the tests and the best practices, right, and the best recommended products and the best recommended way to go about it. These are going to be big. I think, half of the POWERWALLS in the near future are going to be PCB based, whether it be this design or a version of this design. I have no doubt that it's going to be. This is a good idea. I don't know why it took us this long to do this. I don't know why I, out of all people, had to come up with this, right? I know there's a lot of other people that were thinking about it and stuff, but they weren't sharing it. I hadn't seen any until, it's the reason why I came up with this is just because we have the battery holders that are PCB based. And I thought, like, well, these are made for PCBs. How come we're not doing a PCB to make this easier or whatever? So now that they're here, we'll be able to, the video is going to be good. It's going to have all the info that you need. It's going to tell you why I'm changing and why I'm picking certain, components as opposed to other ones. yeah, if you're in the middle of the build, if you're it's not super urgent for you to finish it, just hold on for a little bit. If you haven't ordered your PCBs boards, if you're thinking about, just hold on till I release the next one, because then it's gonna have the extra set of pins so that you can use, the other row of pins, so that we have more redundancy when it comes to that. And then of course I will I'm adding to the list of things to do, to add and changes to that board. That's not gonna be the only one. What was the other one? Someone else said, oh yeah, there are actually some people want to, okay, and I'll keep this short. I know that you guys are probably typing a bunch of questions here and I'm not answering. People keep saying why I don't make them like stackable. Wait, stackable? Hop swappable. And I have nothing against the hop swappable, except that it's a much more complex thing than just getting a bunch of like standoffs and putting them, right? So you guys seem to be putting a lot of effort into changing batteries. If you do it right from the beginning, if you test your batteries right, you put them right, you won't be changing a lot of batteries. And I'm speaking for experience, because I've been using a bunch of like recycled batteries. I don't go around changing batteries, replacing dead batteries in my battery packs, right? I know that's just probably me. Maybe I'm like a little bit more anal about which batteries and how. No, I definitely know I am. I'll use this as an example. The other Powerwaller, right? The other famous Powerwall in Australia. That guy, it's incredible how he's gotten so far without knowing. Like he went through all the trouble of testing all the cells, but then he didn't bother to like actually match his groups, right? And so he's having all these problems. He's having like, module number whatever, it's like low. Oh, we gotta change it. And he's changing this module, and he's changing this module, and he's changing this module. The reason is because he never build them right from the beginning, right? You have to make sure they're all their same size. They have to be matched, and then you won't be doing that. And so it's the same thing. If you follow the whole philosophy about how to test cells and how to put it together, you won't be changing cells. And so I see that as the return of investment. All the extra work to design hot swappable PCB boards, I don't think it's worth it. At least not for me. At least not right now. I haven't found an easy way to do that. Plus, I have bigger fish to fry when it comes to picking the right connectors, picking the right thing. Then doing the video where I show you graphically how it's connected. I haven't even released like a lot of people don't seem to understand how it's a very simple design, but people don't understand the diagram, how every cell is fused. People are like, no, we gotta add fuse. I see a lot of people trying to put fuses in each cell and the thing where they're already kind of built in. Once you draw the schematic, you see that every cell is fused in multiple ways. In fact, every cell is fused between each cell twice. So there's 2 fuses to go in there. So it's pretty redundant. This design is pretty redundant. It doesn't seem at first, but you just kind of have to pay a little attention. You have to see it graphically in a diagram, and then you'll see like, yeah, okay, we get it. So anyways, I have to spend time doing that instead of doing the hot swappable things. If someone else, there's a few guys that are doing they're trying to figure out, right? And they will see that it's not as easy, that it's gonna be expensive, because right now you don't have to like design a box that will hold all these. By the way, you build 10 of these things, they're heavy. It's not like you need a sturdy box so that you can put these. Either you're gonna have to lay them down on the table and then have something on the top, so you have to build all that stuff all of a sudden, right? Where right now it's just the little PCBs and then standoffs, and then you can put that inside another box, and you could zip tie it, you could screw it. There's a bunch of other ways that I'm also trying to come up so that we can secure those things onto like a metal box or a wood box or whatever it is that you end up ending up using. So there are things that I consider much more important than the hot swappability right now. I realize that people are not gonna build these modules correctly, and so they will have to be swapping out batteries, because they're not gonna follow the direction, or it's just not gonna follow the whole philosophy about it. It's like you look at some of these other builds that they're happening, right? And people are using they're using the fuses, right? They're just using them wrong. Like I saw one guy put 4 cells and then fuse them all like together with one fuse, which is like totally wrong. Like you have 4 different levels of current going through that same little cable. Which one do you choose to like to size your cable? You know what I mean? Like the last little end, it's gonna have 4 times more current going through than the last end, right? And so if you size it correctly for that, then that means that all the other ones, it's oversized for all the other ones. But if you end up doing it on the last one, then it's undersized for all the. So if you're in the middle, then you're undersized and oversized. It's terrible, and they don't understand the concept about these fusing, and so they're building these things in a way that it's not correctly. So I have to kind of eliminate a bunch of that stuff, right? Because I'm kind of putting my name on it. Each one has my name on it, which I know it's gonna bring some liability that I don't want. Designed by J. Garcia. They're right there, right? So even though I'm not gonna be selling to you fully made, because I don't want all the liability, I think I am kind of liable somewhat for that design. I at least need to make sure that it is correct. And the guy that's doing the layout, Justin, is also doing a lot of testing with the fuses and stuff. And that's why we're going to recommend for you to order them from certain PCB house and not from other PCB houses, because they're kind of they're not the same. The fuses made on one company, that they don't burn the same as burnt on another company. So anyways, all that to say that one of the other changes on the PCB is going to be one where there's an XT60 connector that is angled, that is 90-degree angle, so that whoever's designing the hot swappability on these, they can do it on the high end with that. So I have to just modify a little bit the connector here. So that's another thing that's going to go on the next revision of the board for when I come up with the final. Well, not the final. I mean, there's never going to be a final of that. It's open source. It's always going to keep changing, evolving and stuff. But at least for the final, like, launch, of the thing, this is still kind of in beta. Even though there's like 2,000 boards out there. There's around 2,000. I've seen a lot of people. You guys are ordering like 250, 200 boards, 150 boards. Which is way more than I got. I ordered 100, and that's what I'm using here to test and stuff. But you guys are kind of getting ahead of the whole thing. Is sodium battery coming soon? Who knows? We don't know. I have no connections in the industry. I'm just a regular dude, just like you guys that are doing videos. And I'm doing my own experiments and stuff, and that's it. Better technology has to come along soon. I don't know. I don't think it's very complicated. Some, guy like an educated person like me can kind of, wrap his head around it. So can you guys. Yeah, I'm not like, trained in anything. I didn't even go to school, guys. So come on. Okay, anyone have info on when solar panels making more than 300 watts will be available? What? Those are already out there. Wait, 300 watts? There are those panels, right? They're just kind of big, but I think they have them. Let's see. I found some. I think they're used. I don't know what's up with these. I think they're used. And there's, okay. We'll share this with you. Copy link. These are 310 watt poly 72 cell solar panels. And by the way, how much are they? Let's see. These items out of stock. They sold out. Damn. See, well, they only had 48, I guess. Yeah. But anyways, they do exist. What's this other one over here? Oh, here's another one. 300. Share. Let me get this link. Come on, man. Come on. So, copy link. Let me look online. How much are these for? Oh, these are a little bit more expensive, but not a lot. 300 watt mono solar panel, 300 watts for $99. There we go. Look at this. I'm gonna share this with you guys. So if you guys are looking for panels, man, these are it right here. Boom. There we go. 300 watts available now. Go get them. Or like, what is it? 33 cents a watt or something. Or is that what it is? Is that what it is? 33? No, 3 though? No. Yeah, something like that. Lithium's the way to go. PCB fuse are bad. Well, I don't know. I don't agree. I mean, I haven't seen any evidence of that. They seem to be working okay for us in our testing. So maybe you're right, but I won't believe it till I see it. I don't need 70 panels in my roof. Yeah, I mean, that's true. Yeah, I mean, 70 panels, that means you need a lot of power. How much energy are you using? Because you can have 10 panels. Those are 300 watts. It's like 3,000 watts, right? And 5.5. Let's do the math here. How much will those produce? 10 of those will produce. You know, you can make some serious power. Yeah, so let's say you can make 3,000 times 5.5. Now you're talking about 15 kilowatt hours a day with 10 panels. You can do that now. You know, 12 panels, probably, something like that. Just put a solar farm in your backyard. Yes, a shared one. We should do a shared solar farm. Don't expect solar PV panels to take dramatic jump in efficiency. They are limited by physics. They'll get simpler, cheaper, but not like 2-3 times more efficient. Yeah, I don't think so. They haven't. I mean, they're gonna come down in price a lot. I mean, they have. They're like coming down exponentially, right? From what I've seen on inverters from your channel, the ones you show don't mention how to connect solar to them. Am I missing something? Yeah, well, so there's... Yeah, I'm doing like low-cost systems just because I can't afford the expensive stuff, right? I'm a YouTuber and I don't make the big bucks yet, so I can't even afford my own full system, right? I'm not, this is not my home, so I can't go crazy and do that stuff. So first I have to buy a home, then I can go crazy and save some money and then install a big system. So I'm just dealing with, like, you know, entry level stuff. You know, what can I get for $100? Oh, here's the thing. But, you know, the ones that you can connect solar, I have been playing around with solar inverters, but they're grid tied, right? Oh no, I do have an off-grid one here. I think I might pair it up with these Model S batteries. I haven't quite figured out what kind of project I'm gonna make with these, like what inverter I'm gonna use or whatever, but I might use that one. There's a 24 volt one that has a built-in solar charge controller, so yeah, those are for solar. I prefer fuse from a recognized company than a simple fuse trace on the PCB. Well, you do you, but we're testing solar fuse tracks. By the way, these are like one per every cell, so if you have 5,000 cells, you're gonna need 5,000 fuses. So it could add up really quickly, right? You know, put that in the balance. You're like, yeah, maybe, you know, using the best fuse out there, it's not economically feasible. How many kilowatt hours DIY you have now to power your house? I don't power my entire house using, but I did have about 22 kilowatt hours worth of DIY Powerwall here. I since then have taken those battery out and I sold them and I bought new cells. Now those cells now are gonna go into my bus. So because I don't have, you know, I don't have the cash to buy all this battery, right? On the bus I will need quite a bit of battery. I'm looking at like 60 at least 50, 60 kilowatt hours, more than that. I mean, I'm gonna do it in stages, I think, but that's my battery on my bus. It's going to be quite large compared to this. This is 22 kilowatt hours. Over there's gonna be like 50. I have 48 currently, and once I build my custom modules for my bus, then the Tesla modules that I have in my car, I don't know, I might end up selling them so that I can buy more batteries and then like do a custom, you know, Powerwall, like a large custom Powerwall, using DIY methods instead of just like, because I don't, you know, the thing, it's not just about building a Powerwall. I could do that, right? But for me, it's more about building a Powerwall that using components that I can show you where to get, right? Because that's how I make my living now. That's like, you know, it's like I don't get paid for the videos. No one, you know what I mean? Like, so that's one way to do it. Yeah, I do a thing. I'll show you how to do it. So I have to pick products that you can buy, so that I can go like, oh, you want to build one like this? Go buy it. It's right here, right? It doesn't really make sense for me to like build something that no one else can build using some custom batteries that no one can get. Who cares about that? It's like, I don't care. I want to know. I want to make it easy for you guys to do the same thing, right? If that's what I'm trying to do here, I'm trying to, you know, promote the DIY spirit, the DIY lifestyle, then I have to be able to do it in ways that can be recreated. In the summertime here in Las Vegas, my power bills are almost $500 a month. Woo! And with all that sun, you shouldn't have to. I mean, even my little $1,200 solar system, that's gonna pay itself in 2 years. It's gonna save me about $600 this year, and then next year about another $600. So after that year, it's just gonna be making me about $600 a year. Well, yeah, saving me, generating, right? Yeah, generating. Oh jeez, these dogs are crazy. Hey, shut up, guys. Let's see. Let's find another question here. PCB is not expensive. I mean, some people think it is expensive. Hey, no barking. No barking. Jehu, I am looking for a Tesla Model 3 battery. Any news about one? No, I mean, they're probably popping up already. There's quite a bit of them. There's a lot of Model 3s here in California. I mean, there's a lot of them. So I'm sure every day, at least a couple of them getting wrecks and stuff. But I haven't seen too many on the auctions and stuff. Again, I'm not really looking for them and stuff. But yeah, just keep your eye open. They'll come up. It's gonna be kind of a hard thing to deal with those modules because they're so huge. I mean, they're like, I don't know, they're like 8 foot long by, you know, and then you can't really break them apart because they have like that gel, like that potting compound. It's gonna be hard, but I think we're gonna have to figure it out because there's gonna be so many of them. So I love my PIP. Like I say, I have had mine running 24/7. I have helped put in about 10, and they're still all running. The pips, yeah, I've heard a lot of people, because those are not super expensive, right? So people like them. That's pretty cool. I guess I gotta look at them. I need to get a 48 volt one so that I can do all these tests on using my PCBs and, you know, these modules, the Model S modules and stuff. So yeah, I have to invest in that. I have to invest in a good 48 volt inverter. The last one that I got didn't work, so I had to return it, and then I just didn't reorder another one. Oh my god. I mean, let me let the dog out so that he can go and bark outside. Shut up. Hey! You're barking. I know it's hot outside. All right, I'm back. Sorry about that. What brand of new batteries you mostly use? I don't care. I mean, the ones that I've been buying right now are LGs, M36s. Those are new. They're like new, and they're like kind of new in the market. They have the most energy dense that I've ever seen. Maybe not. Maybe these are more energy dense. The 5000 21700s. No, they have to be, right? These have to have more energy density. I guess I gotta calculate that. How much they weigh and the size, and then I'll be able to tell. But yeah, those are pretty good when it comes to 18650s, right? I bought a load of Skywolf Fire batteries. Oh man, I wonder what those are. That's not a brand that it's recognizable. Javier made alarm hookup much more productive, says Frank Gourmands. I hope so. I haven't really seen that. Do they have more batteries? Let's see. Let's look at eBay. I haven't checked out to see if they have more batteries there, but because I was complaining, right? I'm like, man, you guys need to do something. I was kind of like, so I haven't been making videos, right? And so I've been paying attention to all the other things other than videos, because I'm like, well, I don't have time to make videos right now, but I can look in the thing here and look at that, and I'm looking at my numbers going like, man, what? I'm selling batteries more than ever. How come I'm not making money? Like, that's not fair. And I was complaining to them, like, and no one seems to be listening. They're like, yeah, whatever. Wait, so if I have to go to purchase history, because I bought batteries. Come on! Really? They can't complete my thing? Okay, come on. Oh, I see. So, every time I'm live with you guys, it's so hard because I don't... just my computer doesn't work, right? Oh, man, it's been a while. So, there we go. Alarm hookup. How many batteries does they have? Items for sale. Boom. Oh, look at that. They put the 2600 up again. That's right. Time newly listed. Let's see. Okay, so they're putting a bunch of these like 1000 to 1200 milliamp hours. Yeah, 1000 to 1200, 1000 to 1200. 500 to 1000 milliamp hours. Yeah, these are like very low, and they're super cheap, and these are all like on bids. They're not buy it now, they're auctions, right? What else here? I mean, they're not posting anything. I haven't been posting anything good, man. Okay, they put the 100 Sanyo 18650 the 2200 milliamp hour things. Those are back up. Those are the ones that you have to buy and then you crack them yourself. So at $110, that's a lower price, I think. So those are probably gonna be like the best priced ones right now. From there, okay, so they put more of those, more of those. More of these other for 150 to 22 to 2400. There's not a lot of batteries here. Oh, and then the 99 Samsung 2600. Okay, those are good for 140. Oh wow, and 80 of those have sold already, man. Or theirs might be old. Sometimes he like relists some, and they're older. Let's see, 80 have sold. Sorry, I'm just going down this rabbit hole of what's available. 80 have sold. Come on, computer. September 17th. Yeah, look at that. Oh no. So a lot of these are sold on August 3rd, right? And then they stopped in August 6th. Oh, and then, yeah. And then in September 11, they put up again. So then, oh, okay. All right. September 11. Look at that. Wow. So in the last few days, they've sold quite a bit, but not all of them. Yeah. So there's a few more. I don't know why you say that. I don't see how Javier has made them. I'm hoping. I don't see evidence of that yet. I wonder if you know something that I don't know about, but yeah, I don't see it. It's not in the batteries they're putting on eBay. But I know they've been working on the website, and that takes a lot of work and a lot of time. What would you say is the best current way to use 18650s with the fewest man hours needed for construction of a Powerwall? It's considering the Tesla Model S modules because they seem to be good. Oh, I mean, yeah, definitely buying a pre-made Model S module is the quickest way. There's 444 batteries already, put together in a 6S74P configuration. All you have to do is connect two big lugs and then you're done, right? Two of those, you do 48 volts, you're ready to go. You can do that in an hour. You can connect 800 cells. But other than that, I think these PCBs are going to be the way to go. Like, it's just soldering. I mean, it still takes time because you got to put all the little connector, put the thing, and then you got to solder it, all that stuff. Soldering still takes a long time, but this type of soldering, the see-through, the pass-through things are a lot easier and faster than trying to solder into the cell. Or even trying to set up a thing where like you weld, you spot weld and stuff. So I think overall, once you get going, if you're building a big thing, you get really quick at doing those. You can hear from people, you can go and ask them. People that are kind of starting to put those together. There's a few of us now that have put together like, several, I don't know, like 100 or so of these circuit boards and stuff. Yeah, that's going to be the way to go moving forward. Either getting modules that are already made, but then you'll pay. So the ones that I link here on this video, right? Let's look at the prices though. Those are like $1,200. It's how much are you paying per kilowatt? Let's do the math here. So they're like 3.4, but I actually never seen them give 3.4 volts, 3.4 amps, but let's say they did. They're brand new, times 74, right? So it should be around a 251. Oh, by the way, I'm testing that one right now. I'm actually discharging it because I want to test the capacity. I want to know how much capacity those have. Those are like low miles modules. I think the car had like 40,000 miles from what I was told. And the date of manufacture is like less than a year. So those are brand new cells off of a brand new car. So 251, let's say 250, right? And it's 3.7 times 6, 22 times 250. Oh my God. So if that is true, then each module is 5.5 kilowatt. So 5.5 kilowatt, right? Let's say that you get lucky and you get modules that are full capacity and you can get 5.5 kilowatts off of them. If you can buy them by $1,250 or something like that, divided by 5.5, well, $222 per kilowatt hour. That is not bad. That is not bad at all. I mean, I want to say, if you don't want to learn about making modules and stuff, you just want to look at making like a Powerwall, the Tesla Model S modules are probably the way to go. I think by the time you probably end up like shipping and stuff, you're somewhere around $300 per kilowatt hour, right? So that is I mean, that's quite a bit more than when you get, like, you can get, like, those batteries, the 2200s that Tom, that I was talking about on Tom's website. Those are about $150 a kilowatt hour, right? So then they're half the price for the thing, but then you still have to put them together. So my thing, it's about $60, I think, per kilowatt hour on those low density cells. So you'll be looking at 150, yeah, so about a 210, I think that's what it would be. So I think that's how it compares. $300 kilowatt hour on the Tesla modules per kilowatt hour, as opposed to about 210, 220, something like that, for you know, doing cells like modem cells and my PCB boards. Let's see. Oh, let me open up this thing. Why didn't I do that? Oh, so I can see more. Pop out chat. All right, let's see. Let's see more of your questions here. Tesla modules have liquid cooling. Yes, they have liquid cooling. You don't need them. There's no Powerwalls in the world that need them, unless you're gonna ask for 20 kilowatts off of your 5 kilowatt hour Tesla wall. If you're not gonna be doing that, you're not gonna be asking 5C or 3C off of your cells, 3 times the capacity, right? Then you shouldn't need cooling. You probably could use the cooling loop for warming your cells if you're like in somewhere where it's like really cold. But you could also just put the batteries inside instead of putting them outside where it's like sub-freezing temperatures. That's another way to do it without having to do that thing. The cooling thing is kind of an overkill for what we want them, unless you're gonna put them in a car and you're gonna be like launching it, trying to drag race. Even some of our builds that we're doing, we're not using the cooling because we're putting batteries we're putting big batteries, you know, because the energy density is so good on them. James Stanton says 100 PCs. Oh, Crystal's here. Crystal's here, guy. I'm gonna have to take a little break. 100 pieces, lithium ion, 1860 batteries, 3.7 BRC, 3000 chargeable, 63. Are these okay? I don't know. Put a link there. I want to check them out. Let me take a quick break and I'll come back right now, okay? Quick break. So how much does this Powerwall cost? Let's do a rundown on the prices of all the components. First, we have the solar charge controller available for $38.99, the bidirectional meter at $29.99, non-interruptible power supply available for $30. The battery modules are $50 each. There's 10 of them, so it's $500 in total. The 32-inch metal box is $59.22. A fuse holder is $682. The battery management system, the long ones are $14 each, and the main unit is like $200, so it comes down to a total of $342. All of these components come to a grand total of $1,008 US. You can find the links for all these parts on the description of this video. I want to thank you for watching. Stay tuned for future videos, all having to do with DIY renewable energy. Back to Puerto Rico for the 3rd time. We're gonna help some people get some power. Internal resistance and okay, so here's a whole pallet of these modem ones. Look at these guys. It's 11,000 cells right there, ready to be deployed in Puerto Rico. You got your cells?
I got my cells.
All right. You got your cells?
Yeah, I got my cells.
All right. So I saw a documentary on the building of the Twin Towers, and it turns out they're so close to the ocean, they needed to retain all that water. So they had to build these walls, and each one of those little things there are screws. They're just rods, steel rods that are going through the bedrock to hold that wall. And this is not the only, this is probably the last one because the building was right there. So this is
I think those
last
are
one.
called anchor bolts.
Anchor bolts, yeah. And those, they call those walls slurry walls. Crystal's covered up like it was sandy.
I'm cold.
Let's talk about the EV West M3.
I'm Michael Breen with EV West, and 7 years ago we started our little electric car speed shop so we could help people make classic cars go faster. At the time we were looking around for venues, and there wasn't a lot available to electric cars, and we came across Pikes Peak, and they actually had a class. And we ended up building the car, purpose-built for Pikes Peak. We ran the race in 2012. We ended up setting a record for the fastest street-legal electric car to go up the hill.
Now the car that Michael is talking about is the famous M3.
342 horsepower and 850.4 pound-feet of torque.
A few years later, I saw it. All right, so I just arrived in Manhattan. My allergies are killing me. You see, oh my God, I feel like crap. But it's early. A few other family members are here this time around, so I'm gonna go meet them. They're somewhere already exploring the city, so I gotta go get them. All right, we made it to Grand Central Station. So you want to build a DIY Powerwall. I'll show you how to do one. Using these as batteries and these as your inverter, you can build a small DIY Powerwall. Let's get going. All right, there we go. How is everyone doing? I took a small break there because, well, one, Crystal was coming in and I needed to drink something. Man, you get tired of talking so much. So, yeah, James Taunton, yeah, those don't look good. Whenever 1860s have a button top, I don't trust them because they were never manufactured with the button top, so that means they're rewrapped. So then, if you don't know what they are, like that doesn't sound like they're like a manufacturer. It sounds like someone just like rewrapped it for branding. Who knows what you're getting? I don't know. I don't know, man. So yeah, I wouldn't recommend those. BRC are fakes. Yeah. I think so. That's what people are saying, right? Yes. They don't smell good. I mean, they could be decent cells, but also the price doesn't add up. Decent cells don't sell for that cheap. So, not that there are not good, that they're good deals to be had and stuff, but usually not from those Chinese sellers. That's not how it works. Usually they're like, I mean, the jury's still out on these. Hey, no barking. What I told you guys. On the Lido collars, right? These are going for about $2 each, and they're, but they're like large. Oh, this one, by the way, is from Amazon, and look at this. Totally, they put like a different top here to hide the fact that they don't. It's a 3-pin instead of a. Well, actually, no, the original is a 3-pin, but it's a different cut. It's a different thing. Traditionally, on the so these are fake, but we don't know what they are. But they test okay as far as capacity and stuff, But even those fake ones, they're still kind of expensive. They're like $2 each. So yeah, when you're talking about 50-cent cells, it's very unlikely that they're gonna be anything good in there. How many packs to convert Lotus Elise to clean energy? Just depends how far you want to go and how fast. But I believe Tesla put a 50 kilowatt hour pack there originally for like 100 plus miles. So yeah, you got something like that, 30. It's a light car actually, so 30 to 50 kilowatt hours I think would be. Yeah, I mean, they weren't that high energy dense cells. I think Tesla did these. I think these are the ones that are found on the original Roadster. Why do I say this? Because Tesla used these for the Mercedes smart car around that time. These are built in 2008. So my cells on my bus right now, they're 2008 build Tesla packs, which is around the same time that they were building Roadsters, the first generation Roadster. And so these are 2600 milliamp hours, so they're probably using about 2600 milliamp hour cells. Let's see. Focus, camera. By the way, this light keeps going out. Let's see. Any more questions? Where are we at? I may be late to this comment, but have you ever discussed coupling capacitors with your battery cells in electric vehicle packs to help minimize voltage ripple? No, I don't. I haven't. I see no need for it. The batteries do okay. Current batteries that we have access to, they do alright. So I don't see it. You know what I mean? Like, we have high energy, high power dense cells that we use for cars that need high performance. We have energy dense cells, like for my bus, that doesn't need high performance. It just needs long, like long range. But we don't feel the need for capacitors. Capacitors are expensive and they're kind of rare, and we just don't. There's no need for them, so we've never used them, and I don't know anybody that actually used them other than to just make it like a experimental thing or something, You're gone. So how much does this Powerwall cost? Let's do a rundown on the prices of all the components. First, we have the solar charge controller available for $38.99, the bidirectional meter at $29.99, non-interruptible power supply. Oh my God. Available for. Okay, so then let's see. Have you made a power pack for your guitar amps? I did. Powered it with my solar generator, the one that I made for Puerto Rico. Yeah, we played. We jammed on it for a little while. Wayne Hogg says, I'm still waiting for the rest of my NCR 18650DB order. You got sent some cherry pick cells. The cells are good, just not as good as the ones you featured. Ah. Wait, what do you mean? Like, as far as quality or what? Like, as far as capacity and stuff? How did you test yours? And how did yours come out? And you're still waiting for some? I thought he told me those were sold out a long time ago. Yeah, it's gonna be interesting. I'm actually still waiting for cells from him. He's sending me a bunch of, but they're not the same. They're the purple ones, so we'll see. Also, about 75% of them have scratch that make them have to be rewrapped. Oh, so they're like ripped or whatever. Huh. Well, I mean, that's typical of a lot of stuff, right? Like when you have to remove them from all the equipment, it has to be like I know one of the sellers, right, the one that sells the medical batteries, they all have to be rewrapped, almost all of them. But you know, he gives you the little rewraps with them and stuff, which they don't cost a lot of money or whatever. But I guess I could see if you weren't looking to pay. But I think, how much did he sell them for? $2? $2.50. I think that was a good price. So think about the other ones. I paid $3 for the other M36s, right? So they have more capacity and they're cleaner. And these are like new. They were never like welded on and stuff, so they're better. But yeah, I think that was still a good price. $2.50 for those 3,200 that we're testing somewhere around 3,300 milliamp hours, right? So yeah, I mean, you're gonna have to clean some of them. You're gonna have to rewrap some of them, but I think still it was a good price. But if you're still waiting for them, I think that's quite a bit of time to be waiting for that. That sale was weeks ago already. So yeah, I would email him and ask him where stuff's at. I would say that's taking too long. What's the highest acceptable turn resistance for an 18650 that will go into a Powerwall? It doesn't really exist. You know, it's mostly like how far off from the rest of the group are you willing to go? You know, I mean, if you have a bunch of cells that are like high resistance because they've been sitting there, or from a batch that didn't pass or something like that, or you know, for whatever reason. But if you have a bunch of them that are the same, you could totally build a Powerwall. Again, on the Powerwalls, we're able to use cells that are like, the performance is like really low, right? It's like dead batteries that are no longer good for like automotive use. You can use them as a Powerwall, because Powerwalls are usually less than a C. Like your max is gonna be 1C, which is usually not in any other application. You're never gonna see that, right? In a car, you're looking at 5 Cs, right? Tesla, 5 Cs, peak on them about, you know, 2C continuous or something like that. But on a Powerwall, I mean, you know, if you build a 50 kilowatt hour Powerwall, right, and you're using like 2,000 watts, or you know, when you turn your AC is like 5,000 watts. That's 1/10 of 1C, right? Like 5 kilowatts on a 50 kilowatt battery, which is totally not a weird number. Like if you have large home where you have AC and you want to use your AC, you know, if anywhere between like 20 to 50 kilowatt hour battery pack, it's a good way, right? Especially the way you're gonna want to use it. If you want to use it for backup, if you want to build it with enough headroom so that when a storm comes in and you have a couple days that there's no sun, and you still want to be able to have battery in there, or you want to have at least a few days worth of battery backup, right? Then yeah, you're talking about that size of a battery. And so yeah, you definitely there's no such thing. You can use cells that are really high, that are not performing, as when they were new, and so they have a high internal resistance. It's got to be well matched. You can't just have one in there. I mean, you could if you have a big one, because the other ones will take care of that one, and they will all be able to push their power together because they won't. You're not asking so much of them. Yeah. So I mean, I don't know what that number is, right? 18650 in Europe are too expensive. Yep, but everything in Europe is expensive, isn't that the case? Maybe it has been answered before. Can Tesla 21700s can be bought? No. Tesla batteries are being bought by Tesla, so they cannot be bought. You can buy, if you find a Model 3 wreck, then that's the only way you can buy them, but you'll never be able to buy those. They are made for Tesla, and they're being used for Tesla right now. And the Gigafactory, by the way, just became the biggest producer of battery. It's the biggest factory producing batteries in the world. I think it's like 4 gigawatts per year or something like that. It's crazy. And there's not enough to put in cars, right? And we're still waiting for Tesla walls, power walls, right? So yeah, it's going to be a while before they're going to be able to make enough batteries that they would even think about selling to the public or for other people. Right now, every cell that they're making, they're going to be used for their products. In one of your videos, you showed a facility where they get old unused laptop batteries and old unused cell phone batteries. Where are they, and what are those facilities called? Well, those are, recycling centers, and the ones that I am in contact with are the ones that for some reason have taken an interest in batteries. And so whenever they seek out all those, right? Because they know that batteries have a, value. But so when you go into my kit and stuff, and I have links to to like batteries on eBay, those are from those facilities. That one particularly didn't want to sell those laptop ones because they get more money from China. They just put a full container of those batteries, and then they just ship them over there because they get paid more. And it's like easier to sell a container ship when it comes to paperwork, right? Like you think about them, they're a facility. They have 30 employees or something in the office, and it's easier just to sell like a big container full of batteries to one client, or maybe several of those containers to one client, and do that paperwork, as opposed to having like hundreds of us going in there and we don't just want to buy pallet worth of batteries. Oh, we want to go through your pallets to pick out the best. We get like really picky and stuff, right? So it becomes like really hard for them to justify, even if they can sell the batteries for less. And then we're like, no, we don't want to pay. We want to pay like $1 per battery, where like the Chinese will be like, yeah, we'll give you $3 per pound or something, So it's a lot easier for them. It becomes a hard thing if they don't know. It's actually really hard to sell to the public. It's a lot easier to deal with business to business, and so a lot of those people are kind of hesitant to do this. They're looking for the easy money, like every other business, right? Like we're all doing that same thing. It's like I could be out there digging ditches to make a living, right? But I'm like, I don't want to do that. Maybe I want to be a YouTuber, because I think I have what it takes to do that. I'm going to do that. I enjoy that much more than digging out ditches outside. So I'm going to go for the easier money, and I can make more money than digging ditches. So you can't really blame them, right? But it's kind of unfortunate because there's a lot of batteries right there that we could all be using and stuff, and it's just hard to convince them sometimes. And I tried with that one particular company. I tried to set things up, and it was really hard. It turns out I couldn't even make it work to sell for them myself. they weren't sticking to their numbers. They backed off. You know, they offered me something really good originally, and then they're like, no, well, that's not what we meant. And I'm like, well, if that's not what you meant, I don't want to do it for less. And so now I just, you know, I'm selling their batteries, but like kind of like unofficially without them, right? I'm just using the automated system that, you know, that I can use. They don't send me batteries. We don't actually have a working relationship anymore. So that's kind of not good, but I mean, well, it wasn't good for me to go in there and for the amount of work that I was doing. So it is what it is. What about fuel cells? I don't know about fuel cells. It's kind of a weird thing to use to make gas and then to make gas do electricity. I don't know. It's like too complicated. What are we doing here? We use a lot in high discharge lithium polymer packs for RC planes, but I'm not sure if it's necessary in big scale cars. Oh, I wonder what you're talking about. Jim Edmond. Yeah, I can't see what you're talking about here. Roadster power pack. Oh, look at that. Island Times put a video. Let's check it out. Yep, look at that. Oh, $20,000 for that battery pack. 172-mile range. How big is it? Does it say? It's probably not going to have that. Your only option is no longer a 30,000 full replacement. If your budget does not include... This is a particular battery pack from 2011. It doesn't say what size it is, but it's 900-pound pack. Palletized for common carrier. So I wonder, this is probably one of those packs that they took out because they offered an upgrade. Oh, look at that. Here we go. So here you can buy the individual modules for $1,400. Look at that. Tesla Rose 34 volt, 152 amp hours. Whoa, check that out. It's almost the same amperage. It's almost the same amp hours as the Model S, 152. That one should be about 150. That means they were running at a lower voltage. That has to mean. How many of these modules does it say? Okay, whatever. You guys can't see it. I mean, if I could show you this, it takes me too long to set up this as the source. I need someone to be doing. I need someone to be doing all that stuff on my live things. I will. It's gonna happen, guys. But all in due time. I'm still a one-man band here. Battery weight is 1,800 pounds. Wow, that's a heavy battery. How is that possible? Like the Model S one is like 1,200, 900. It's like 900 pounds, and it's got 80 kilowatt hours. My pack right now, well, yeah, because my pack right now, it's about 700 pounds, and it's 48 kilowatt hours. What? Really? I don't know. Maybe that's like the full thing. Yeah. Okay, let's see. Too heavy. The prismatic pouches are decent, but they need to be confined in protected packaging. Yeah, the headway cells are nice if you're building an e-bike. Quick question. I've heard that Tesla have their charging settings in their Powerwalls. Not to fully charge. Can you elaborate why this is? Yeah, so basically batteries will naturally degrade, right? They have a natural degradation amount, right? But they don't call it degradation, they call that just like normal wear and tear. But it gets accelerated when you do certain things. If you operate a cell like when they're too hot, then that degrades faster when you're cycling, right? But every cycle up and down, charge, discharge, there's a bit of degradation. So each cycle gets smaller and smaller and smaller and smaller. From cycle number one. I mean, the first 20 or 30 cycles it goes up or whatever, but then after that, then they start going down until the end of its life. They have a calendar life, right? So it just degrades, just sitting there, but it's not much. By far the biggest is the cycle life, and doing things like running when they're too hot, or or charging them when they're too cold, below freezing temperatures also will do that. So one of the ways that they'll last longer, or the optimum way to use them, is to not go on the edges, not charge them all the way to the top and not discharge them all the way to the bottom. So just use the middle section, and you just go in there, then the batteries last forever. I mean, they like a lot, like you'll go from like 800. So the difference, it's like the same batteries that are on your phone that only last you like 2 years are the same batteries that are on your Tesla. I mean, it's the same chemical composition. They're not much different. I mean, some are like lipo, right? So they're like slightly different or whatever, but there's the same batteries. So the only reason why they last only 2 years on phones is because manufacturers set the phones to overcharge them, like to every time overcharge them just a little bit, right? Where it's like not too dangerous, they won't catch fire, and then discharge all the way to the bottom. And the reason why they're doing that is because they'd rather give you the longest, battery life on your phone, because that's what will sell phones, right? That's what gives them the edge. But when they're in the car, for example, you don't want that to only last, you don't want to sacrifice your battery only lasting 2 years to give you like an extra 50 miles of range, right? For every charge. You rather, have 50 miles of range less, but then make that battery last 10 years, 20 years or whatever. And so that's why they do that. They limit the amount of battery, thing that you can go. Which, by the way, by a press of a button, they can open it up. In situations of emergency, like right now with the storms, if you're in that area and you own a Tesla, they will allow you to use the entirety of the battery pack to help you get out of that zone, right? If it's going to make a difference between you not making it out or you being able to make it out to safety, then they're just turning on those batteries in those locations to be able to use the entire battery, because we don't care. A little more degradation, it's a good trade-off for your safety, right? So let's see. Make a battery butler. Need to know what internal resistance is scary. For instance, 125 hour wouldn't be bad if it went to 300. I guess if you're like at the 300 or past that point, maybe it's a cell that you don't want to use. But you gotta make sure that your equipment is actually like legit. I mean, not legit, like that it's not false readings, right? Like I often get, super high readings on some cells, and then I take them off, put it back on, run them or whatever, and then they come up like, oh, it's 78, milliohms. So then you're like, what? Okay, so that was a bad reading. So make sure you're not reading, it's bad readings, Make sure it's like a cell that actually has that high of a high resistance. Hey, Irvin Non Sequitur, New York City here. Man, New York City. I'm looking for my New York City viewers. I want to be there. I want to do a get together in Manhattan soon. I want to know who's there, because then I want to show my TV pilot in a theater there in Manhattan. So the only way I'm gonna get people to show up is if I actually start announcing it with time. And if I start like, kind of getting to know you guys, whoever is like in New York City. And the reason why I need to do this is because they're like, I kind of have to like guarantee that people are gonna show up for them to show my film on this film festival thing. So I'm like, oh man, I know I have viewers in New York City. I just don't know how many, and I don't know if they're gonna show up. So I have to kind of figure it out how I'm gonna do that, and that's coming up already. I gotta do something. More videos are coming up. As soon as I can make time to make more videos, we're gonna start. I'm actually kind of rusty. I think I'm gonna have to start with like little videos, because I haven't made video in like over a month. I think I kind of lost my ability. I bought 3 and I add batteries to the Trip Lite Smart 1500 950 watt UPS. I will not charge when you plug it in and switch to AC powers. It will not charge. I think it will. I just think it takes a long time. That charger is like very slow. Remember that Trip Lite, that UPS thing, it's made to be there on standby. So if it takes a week to charge that small little battery that is there to like only be good for like 12 minutes so you to power down on power, outage, it's okay, right? So when you're putting a big battery, like, cause we're putting an extra like big battery on that, so then the already super slow charging speed of that, might just be augmented by 3-4 times, and that's why it might seem like it's just never charging it, but I think it does. It's just really slow. The Tesla cells you put on your trailer behind your bus, how much power did each module store? Those are 3.3 kilowatt hours. I actually have those here. I just got, those are not mine. They're someone else's for some project that we were working on that it just failed. I don't know what they're gonna do with those. I think there was an opportunity that he could get a full working car for those. So, it's like, I would offer that guy some money for those and I can keep them, because they're the same ones that I have on my bus. But yeah, that's 18 kilowatt hours right there. A battery that I have doing nothing. I could be putting a little trailer and using it on my bus to go on long range trips. George Garcia, New York in the house, another New Yorker. All right, this is good. That's because I'm here like a little bit earlier, right? So you guys have time to watch. What time is it over there? 5, 6, 7, 8. So it's 8. Yeah, it's usually when I'm going on here. I'm just busy taking what is going on why you can't make videos. I'm just busy doing a bunch of things that I don't enjoy doing, and I've been putting off for years. So I just can't wait anymore. So I need to do it. A bunch of paperwork, a bunch of like tax related stuff, all that nonsense, and it's terrible, and I hate it. And so I'm not in the mood to make videos when I'm doing all that stuff, right? And I just can't take the time to do. So I can take a few hours off and be like, I'm gonna go live, or I'm gonna do. I haven't even been working too much on all these projects. I'm just like little thing here and there and stuff. But as soon as I'm done with all this stuff, bam, I'm full on. I just can't finish it. It's just it's taking so long. Gustavo Loans, thanks Jehu. Let us know if you decide to do something in New York City. We'll definitely let you know. I almost went this weekend because there was a thing, but because I waited so long, the flights were so expensive. They're like $1,000 to fly to New York City, right? I'm like, God, there is no way I can't justify spending that much money just to go for the weekend to do something with my so the next skateboard that I'm building, and I still don't know. So I'm trying to make this like everything like affordable, right? So that everyone can make it. But I'm just like, I wanted to just like maybe go the opposite direction with that one and just make like these custom milled aluminum parts that cost like a lot of money, like ridiculously amount of money. Like it'd be like $100, you know, for like a little cover or whatever, but it's custom made out of aluminum. You know, and it would be like $300-400 just in custom parts, and then like $300-400. I don't know. I think that would. I don't know if that's a useful thing for you guys. Who would want me to do that? Because then I can show you how to make custom made aluminum parts, and I go through that whole process, right? Like that's what I used to do all day, right? Like I made like stuff, right? Oh, let me see. This guy's right here, for example. Yeah, so like, you know, like this stuff. I used to make this. You design them in the CAD program, and then you're like, you know, and then you send it out to the machine shop, and then they make it. And, you know, these are like, the tolerances are super high. You know, it's good stuff. You get into like fancy stuff like knurling. This is a knurl handle with our little sticker here. I got into like even making like really, like this is a cool one. This is a custom made knurled knob that I made for it was for a thing so you can focus and stuff, right? Like electronically focus a camera and stuff. So it was pretty cool, and I thought like I could make some like enclosures for batteries and stuff, but it would be really expensive. The only way making custom parts like that works or makes sense is if you're making like a ton of them. Like if you're gonna make 1,000, right? If you're gonna make like a little box for a battery or something, if you make 1,000, then you can bring the price down to like $5 per. Oh my God! So I gotta change the battery on this camera. Let me change that. So how much does this Powerwall cost? Let's do a rundown on the prices of all the components. First, we have the solar charge controller available for $38.99, the bidirectional meter at $29.99, non-interruptible power supply available for $30. The battery modules are $50 each. There's 10 of them, so it's $500 in total. The 32-inch metal box is $59.22. A fuse holder is $682. The battery management system, the long ones are $14 each, and the main unit is like $200, so it comes down to a total of $342. All these components come to a grand total of $1,008 US. You can find the links for all these parts on the description of this video. I want to thank you for watching. Stay tuned for future videos, all having to do with DIY renewable energy. Back to Puerto Rico for the third time. We're gonna help some people get some power. All right, we're back. The battery is now, I put a new one in there. Oh my God. Every little noise these guys do. The guys outside, hey! No barking. No barking. Come on. Quiet. It's just a landscaping guy. Come on. You got me hooked on learning more about batteries. Yes, I do. My own Tesla Model S. I do own a Tesla Model S 100D. Wow, 100D. You have the ones with the cool modules. I actually never seen a 100D module. Because those are kind of rare, like, right? Not everybody buys those. Those are like extra expensive, so they don't come up often. Have the PCB you made fuses for each cell on the PCB? Yes, it does. It's a little bit different configuration than, you know, having on every cell, but yes, every cell is fused in multiple ways. Let's see. I have knurling tools for my lathe. Yeah, knurling tools are pretty cool, man. I totally got into that for a while. And every part that I was making, I'm like, God, what can I knurl on this thing? Because, you know, the design philosophy on my equipment that I used to make for the cameras was that you wanted to be able to adjust it without tools, right? Because who wants to carry around like when you're out there in the field and you're trying to like adjust the thing and you're like, oh, I need a screwdriver and an Allen wrench, or like, who's got the time for that, right? Like, then the Allen wrenches you lose, and like, it's just like, so in the design you want to use it, you want to make it in a way that you don't have to. You could totally just, you know, use your hands, but it takes quite a bit of thinking to do that. So that was the challenge every day that I used to do when I was designing parts. So you don't need inverters on the panels. On the panels, hey, no crying, come on. Because the voltages will be compatible. Is this? No, you always need it's called a charge controller, which is really a battery charger, but it's made to take the energy off of the panels. The panels voltages vary in like crazy. It can vary 20 volts, you know, in a single panel or whatever. When you're talking a lot of them in series, it could vary like by hundreds of volts, right? If you're running a high voltage system with many panels, you know, in series. So it's just kind of a specialized charger that you need to use, and it's called a solar charge controller. Hey, no barking. No barking. I'm gonna throw something at you if you don't stop barking. Hey. They totally hear noise outside because the gardener's outside, so they just like to. If I would like a Powerwall with an output capability of 200 kilowatt hours, how many cells would I need roughly? Well, you would need about 200 kilowatt hours worth of cells. So it just depends on the cells. There's some cells that are 7 watt hours. There's some cells that are typically around 10 watt hours, and the most energy dense cells are about 13 watt hours, right? So yeah, so you just it's simple math. 200 kilowatt hours, right? Divided by the most popular ones are probably the 2600 milliamp hour cells are 10 watt hours. So you divide them by 10. You're talking about 20,000 cells of those. So, yep. I mean, 200 watt hours, 200 kilowatt hours is quite a bit. So you just have to do that math, right? Like whatever. If you're using 18650s, that's what you do. If you're using prismatic cells, then you use that math on those, you know. Let's see, if you were to buy batteries that are sitting on your trailer, how much would they cost? If you were to buy the batteries that are sitting on your trailer, those were selling for like $600 per module, which is 3.3 kilowatts, right? So I think like 600 or 699. I think they were like 699, I think. Divided into 3.3. Oh man, no. $699 divided into 3.3. Yeah, so those are about $200, $211 a kilowatt hour. So those are 18 kilowatt hours, right? So 211 times 18. So that's about $3,700 worth of batteries. 3,800, something like that. I have 48 kilowatt hours of those in my Samba. So my battery at those prices are $211. Wow, so I have about $10,000, just a little bit over $10,000 worth of batteries on my bus right now. yeah. Which is, by the way, that's not a lot. It used to be like that number used to be 30,000. So it's actually come down quite a bit in the last couple of years. That's pretty crazy. Hi from the Dominican Republic, Victor. Welcome. If you look up Panasonic GH5 constant power on Amazon, it plugs you into your camera provider constant power, meaning no more battery sub during live streams. I have one of those. I'm just lazy. I don't want to have the time to plug it in. It's just like I had it connected and yeah. And then like my setup changed because I burned a couple of equipments and then I had to change it. And so now I think maybe I will do it because I actually have a GH5 that I'm going to use every day to shoot. And now I'm going to leave that camera there, which is the my backup camera, my GH4 there. And so I don't have to change that, right? I actually want to do that. I also want to fix like my lighting setup here because I have like 2 tripods with lights and it's kind of messy in here and it's like all clutter stuff. So I actually want to build like a little light strip there that will give me this lighting and that it can look like this at any time of the day, right? So I should probably need to put a bunch of them over there to like kind of mimic the sun that is coming out like this. I could totally do it. But I need to make it so it's unobtrusive, like it's not on my way for anything else that I do in this room. And I can just flip a button and then the lights are on and then flip another button and the camera's on and I'm ready to go live. So that's what I want to do just so I can do more of these often once I start making videos, right? Because once I start making videos, it kind of consumes me. Like, it's crazy. Like, I could totally be like obsessive about like an edit and stuff and it's like 10 hours, 12 hours working on a little thing, just every little, you know, cut and stuff and then that won't leave any time for anything else. So when I'm doing videos, I'm doing videos. When I'm not doing videos, I'm like doing everything else. But it's just kind of that thing. And I actually order a bunch of lights, like the strips of LED, so that I can do that and I can clean up this whole table. It's all like lights and batteries. It's kind of a mess. It kind of doesn't help me be productive. What is the highest temperature heater you might use that is while running the discharge testers? I mean, I'd say no more than like a few degrees above ambient. So, right? So if you're in a hot room with like 100 degrees Fahrenheit and your battery's running like at 120 or something, I'd say it's okay. But then you think about it, it's only going to keep getting worse. So I'd be like, yeah, maybe I won't use this. Like, there should be no reason why those cells are getting hot and that, you know, at those power levels. So I don't know, man. I say don't use them unless that's the only stuff you have. But I mean, I guess if you're using my system with the PCBs, I will keep them all separate. I will build my Powerwall, and then I would keep like the most accessible, you know, boards. I would use all the heaters there. So I would like keep them all together, and then, you know, you would check like every once in a while with your thermal. Buy a thermal camera. It's like $150. They're not that much. Go to my kit.com /Jehu, and then in the PowerWalls like tools or supplies or whatever, you can have a link of it there. If you ever run into problems, if these keep getting worse and worse, then you can kind of check them, you know, periodically, and then you're like, oh yeah, it's time to get rid of all these heaters, and you can quickly do it, take off those, you know, modules or whatever, like PCBs, without having to undo your entire thing. That's one of the cool reasons to make a PCB based Powerwall, that you could take, you know, you can work on your battery without having to completely disconnect your battery, because, you know, they stack. So you can take the top board without, you know, having taken your battery offline. So it's a cool thing. What is that? Well, so I actually read that one. You have 6 modules on your trailer. Are they about $300 per module? No, they're about $700 per module. Yeah, and there's 6 modules in there. I mean, I had more in my trailer because I actually put the 6, and then I took some of my modules from my bus. I took them off there and I put them in my trailer. So I had 12 modules. I want to say. I had 12 modules. Oh man, how many modules do I have? I have 16 modules total. It's been a while, but I have 16 modules plus 6 modules. No man, come on, 16 plus 6. So that one time that I was running my trailer, I had a total of 22. I want to say I had like 12 of those modules out in my trailer and then 10 inside of my bus. So, oh, actually, no, I had lithium iron phosphate back then. So no, I think it was different than that. Yeah, I think it was a completely different setup. I don't remember. How do you calculate how many charge controllers are needed? Well, you have to look at several factors. You have to look at how many panels you have, right? So if you have panels, let's say you have 10 300 watt panels. That's about 3,000 watts of solar panels on your roof. But let's say that wherever you live, the sun is not that strong. You know, even in the summer, you know, you're forced to like put them in facing a way that is not optimal or whatever, you know. So, but let's say that you get 2,500 watts, even at the peak, right? So then you have to look at the solar charge controllers, and those are like usually rated like in amps and stuff, but you know, some of them, they'll have like a watt rating. So let's say you get one that can handle 2,500 watts. So even though you have 3,000 watts of solar, you could use a 2,500 watt solar charge controller, right? Because you're like, well, it never sees more than 25 at peak. It will see 25 because of the way they're facing, because there's a tree that gives a shade, you know, my neighbor's tree. There's a bunch of reasons why your panels are not gonna, you know, perform at their maximum capacity, right? So that's how you would do it. You'd have to look at what you have, how much energy you're gonna be trying to push through that thing. And then like there's a bunch of other ways, like if you have 10 panels and you want to run them all in series, so you know, I don't know, if they're like 40 volts or whatever, how much is 10 panels? Yeah, so you're gonna be doing like a 400 volt system, right? Yeah, they're like 30 to 40 volts or something like that. I think the larger panels, the 40, I think the 300 watt panels are like slightly higher voltage than that. But let's say they're 40 times 10. So you could run 400 volt, right? But maybe that solar charge controller that you're looking at doesn't do 400. You know, it only goes up to 200 volts. Then you might want to only run 5 in series, and then you do one controller, solar charge controller, and then run another one on the next 5 and do it there. Or you might want to, like, you know, parallel them, you know, the 5 and 5, and then you might, so there's a bunch of different ways to do it, and some will yield better results than other. But I think the only way to find out is if you hire someone that knows, that has experience with the equipment and already knows which is the highest efficiency way of doing it, or you do the experimenting yourself. You put the panels, you connect it one way, and you get another solar charge controller, you know. And I wanted to do that. I have several of the little cheapy charge controls, and I want to do that with those. I think I will do it eventually, right, once I start making the videos, just to compare, because I know there's huge differences in different versions of the charge controllers and different wiring schemes. So because I'm not super familiar with like a lot of that equipment, I couldn't really tell you how to do it. but someone that installs, systems all day, they are, familiar with that stuff. They have a better, they would have much more like concrete, answers to those sort of questions when it comes to like actual equipment, right? Like model numbers of chargers and stuff like that. In fact, maybe I will. I knew a couple of guys that do solar, so I probably want to do like a little live stream with them. You know what I mean? Like a little podcast. Bring them in, ask them all those questions that I have. Like, what is the best solar charge controller? What's the workhorse? What's the most popular out there? How can you use it? What is the best setup? Can you connect them all in parallel? How many panels in parallel? How many in series? What is working better with what equipment? It's like, and it just kind of create scenarios for them and see if they know. I know, like, a lot of these guys, sometimes they only know, like, they have limited knowledge because they only use like one type of inverter or one type of, but a lot of the times, if they have a lot of experience, they know a lot. So unfortunately, I'm not that, because I haven't been doing too much of that, but I understand the concepts. I just don't have the experience yet. Sunny D says, I tried buying your PCB, but there is a 2-board limit on that site. Yeah, that was just a test. That was just a test run of those boards. I only sold 2 so that people could take them and play with them, and then they can like give me feedback. What do they think? How did it work? Kind of sort of stuff. But yeah, I'm not gonna be selling them myself, because then I would get stuck shipping a bunch of boards and stuff. And so what I did is I gave the link so that you can download the file and you can order yourself. But I also wasn't very clear how to do that, because I don't, like I explained earlier in the stream, I didn't want everyone to go and buy it just yet, because I'm still doing a lot of the testing, and I'm not the only one doing a lot of testing. All of those like hardcore people that are like, took the time and followed the links and did the thing and ordered them, those guys I think are gonna be great at like debugging a lot of the problems, right? And in fact, they did. Like the issue with the connectors for the pins, that came from someone that is doing boards. It wasn't my design, it was their design, but they're like, yeah, I had a couple failures with that, and that kind of corroborates a little bit with my experience. I had a couple times where I'm trying to sense the voltage of the batteries, and I'm wiggling stuff around, and then you see voltages jump up and down and stuff, and I'm like, eh. So yeah, these connectors were probably not the best. They will work, right? But they're super low quality, so that's why I'm changing. And once I'm happy with all the little changes, and it's like, these are secure, these work, there's at least 10 people that are using them, and they haven't had a problem for a little while, then I go crazy, and I like make the video where I explain to you exactly how to go and buy it, how to build them, what boxes to use, and try to give you several variations of the things so that you can, so they can fit the most amount of people that are trying to use them out there, I put 45 SPIM 8 HP. Those are the flat cells, the lipo cells, together times 4 in my camper. It's super power. So you put times 4. So you're running a 4S thing with 45 cells? Or 45 times 4. That's almost like 200 cells. Is that what you did? Put pictures, man. Go to our Facebook group and post pictures of your project there. I want to see it. I want to see what people are doing. I've been scratching my head how to, because there's a lot of those, and I need to, I need to figure a way to make it easy for people to use those. Right? And if I do that, because if I do that, then people will use them, and then I can bring some value to the thing. I don't just want to be like, hey, here are the cells, go buy them, because that's what everyone else is doing. I want to be able to have a little bit like, here are these cells. This is how you use them. This is how I tested them, by the way, already, right? And there's like a graph chart that I did on them, and then I tested like shorting them out, how much power they put out. You know, I already kind of did all that for those batteries, but they still are not as attractive for a lot of people because they're still not very clear how to use them, how to package them, right? That's the packaging is a problem on those. But yeah, I put a link to our Facebook group. If you don't mind, if you're inclined, go and share there. We would love to see your build, how you're using them and stuff. Fire bad. Resistance equals heat. Heat equals fire. And to quote Frankenstein, fire is bad. Yep. I mean, yeah. Just grab the Gerbil files and go to any of the PCB ones off places. So not any of them. If you're gonna do it, I recommend using the PCB. What's it called? JLC PCB. There's a difference in every one of those houses. We're getting the best result on the PCB fuses, on the trace fuses. No, wait a minute. What are they called? The actual trace fuses. They don't all burn the same, and some of them actually don't burn well from some of the other like manufactured houses. So I recommend JLC PCB. Citronella candle? What's citronella candle? Okay, all right, whatever. Coldplay is cool. Coldplay is cool. I like Coldplay. Zinc bromide batteries. Have I heard of them? Yes, I have heard of them. I don't know anything about them. We're not allowed to. No, apparently, like YouTube doesn't allow the users to post links. I think they do that just to keep spam down, right? Because if you have like a stream with like, you know, I don't know, hundreds of people watching, then like the scammers, which is like not scammers but the spammers, would just come and like, you know, and it would be crazy to try to keep them all. So yeah, I mean, there's a couple of I've made Island Times. He's a moderator here, and so he can actually put links, but no one else, unfortunately. I'm sorry, I don't know how to change that. I found the site that explains the charge controller rating well. Oh, there you go. I would say post the link. I would say post the link, but you can't post the link. Wait, how did someone else post the link? Well, it was Island Times. That's what it is. If I use your PCB board and I want to use a Longmon, will I need one for each board? No, you would need one. You would need 7 for each board. No, you would need 7 Longmons per every whatever. I think you could do like, you could probably do, oh my God. So Jaren wasn't very clear. We asked him this question, how many cells? But I think he said over 100 cells. 18650s could be used per every single Longmon. So that means that if you have 100 boards, you could use 7 Longmons, right, for every 100 boards. If you're going to use, if you're gonna run it at 48 volts, then that means that you're gonna have 50 boards in parallel and then 50 boards in parallel. So that means that you will need 14 Longmons per every 100 board. If you're doing 24 volts, you can do 7 per every 100 boards. If you're doing 48 volts, then you'll need to do another 7, which is 14. And I will be making a PCB that has for, you know, the BMSs like these guys in here. I will look into maybe doing one for the long months and stuff. But yeah, that's coming up pretty soon. I will start once we figure this stuff out, the power section of it and the stuff, you know, the better connections, you know, finding the sources of these connections and stuff. Then I'll start looking into the BMS stuff, and then yeah, so that we can. I mean, it's gonna be great. I think it's gonna be a complete system, ready to go. Here are the boxes that you can use. Here's the other boxes that you can use. You can make a thing like this or like that, and I think they're gonna be very good looking Powerwall that we're going to be making. Like, they're gonna be pretty legit. They're gonna look very professional. You're gonna put them there, and they're like totally. They're not gonna look like it's some homemade thing. It's gonna look like, oh, you bought a Powerwall? Like, oh, that's pretty cool. But you will know that it was DIY. That you made them, you soldered them, you tested the cells. You know, they're recover cells, they're repurposed, they're reclaim cells. You know, all the important aspects of doing a DIY project are gonna be there. But it's gonna look like a super legit thing, and of course, you know, you're gonna be able to like put your own touch and, you know, change it up or whatever to stand out and to do the thing. But for all the people that don't want to do that, just want like a clean look, they're gonna be able to do it. Where as of right now, it's like it's kind of a Wild West, so it's gonna be a little bit less of that. It's gonna be a complete system. We could buy like 1,000 flashlights that run on water and hook them up all together. What? On water? I don't know what it... 7S, 7 long months. Yep, that's what it said. Choppy. Oh, is the thing not working out? Come on, man. Oh yeah, I went down. When it starts getting choppy, I start losing people. I went down like 20 people left. Elon Musk is currently watching. I don't know if that guy is watching. I mean, I want to say that he knows who I am. Or if he doesn't know who I am, he's like at least seen something. I don't know. It's kind of a weird thing. He's a billionaire. He's super busy. He's got like hundreds of people that he has to answer to. He's got his team of people that have every single second of his day, like, you know. And by the way, he said that he spent most of his time engineering. Like, that's what he does. He's an engineer, like, mostly. And then, you know, he does all the other stuff, which is crazy, right? Because even me at this stage, I'm like, I want to do less of the engineer. I want to do more of this thing and that, you know, the image, the thing, where's my publicist? He's like engineering, you know, he's kind of sticking there. Like, he's getting his hands dirty every day. John Stanley says, just want to tell you, all lovely people, in case you don't know, that the earth is flat and stationary and you can't have sea level on a globe. Peace out, much love. I hope he's trolling. Lots of good info here and in your videos. Thanks. Oh, thank you for watching. Hello from Poland. We want to see you swap DIY from fuel to electric motor, please. Yeah, we will. I will. I mean, yeah. It's just so expensive. That's a really expensive project. And back in the day, I used to have money, but now I haven't for a few years. So, you know, things are gonna change. But, you know, if you stick with me through the hard times, I think it's gonna be much more exciting once I start. You know, I'm almost done. I'm like, you know, it's like, here is my financial life. It was high and then it's down right now and it's about to go up again. And I hope that it's all for the good, not for the bad. I think, you know, it's good to be broke at least once, you know, every 10 years. It keeps you grounded. It keeps you like, Yeah, it's not good. You very easily start thinking different when you have money. You know, you start spending it here, and you're like, you know, but yeah, it just money changes you. You know, and it doesn't matter who you are. I mean, I think there's some people that doesn't or whatever, but I could see how it changed me when I used to have money, and in some ways where it's great. It was great in the fact that, for example, I felt invincible. Like, oh, whatever. What do we need to do? We'll figure it out. Let's hire someone that can do the thing. And you know, it's like that was a great part of having money and resources. That you can just like nothing was an obstacle. You're like, what do we want to do? That's what we want to do. Okay, let's figure it out. There's ways to figure it out. We will figure it out. You know, where I'm now, it's completely different. It's like, oh, what do I want to do? Yeah, but there's all these walls. I can't do it because I don't have money. I can't hire anyone. I can't do this. You know, it's like, so it's, you condition your brain to either like feel invincible and that anything is possible, or that you're like, no, nothing is possible. I can't do that. So right now I'm coming off of that, right? My brain is like, has a lot of walls around it. I'm like, I can't. I don't have money. I don't have a thing. I don't have, you know, a team. I don't have any of that stuff. So there's pros and there's cons, but I think there's a lot good that comes out of not having money, you know, being broke at least once a decade, so that you can stay grounded. You know, like life is not, it's not the same for everyone, you know, and when everything is going good, you tend to forget that, right? So it's a good thing. I definitely don't, I'm not I recommend it. I recommend it. It's not fun, but I recommend it. Yeah, so we'll do a car. I mean, the Samba is there. It's kind of been on hold for a long time because I don't have money. I spent a ton of money on that car when I had the money. And now that I don't have it, that's why it just hasn't moved much. But I think eventually will. The next time around, the next round, I think is going to be crazy. And I already kind of started getting the batteries right. Start gearing up for that thing where like we're going to completely redo it. We're going to do it right. And it's going to be a cool car. And then who knows? Maybe I'll even start the next car. I do have aspirations to do another car. I don't know which one yet. And I was kind of leaning on a fastback Mustang, but you guys are right. There is another fastback Mustang out there, but I don't like it. Like, I don't like his styling. That's a cool car, and he somehow figured out how to not make it cool. I look, you know, like visually, aesthetically, I don't like how he did it. So maybe I will do my own take on it, and it will be different. And it's gonna be like all-wheel drive, because his is just rear-wheel drive. So I want to do an all-wheel drive using Tesla motors. Yeah. So maybe it's that. You know, maybe I'll do a DeLorean, maybe, because the other guy's not moving on it. So maybe I can beat him to it. I don't know. It's between those. Like, those are kind of the kind of cars that I kind of like, you know? It's got to be kind of an iconic car. And it's definitely going to be with Tesla motors. And not Tesla batteries. Probably going to be the other batteries, because those are better. All right. Crystal's here. I'm going to have to sign off, guys. I want to thank you. We're about to eat. She actually had to run out and then do the thing. So she brought food, but I was waiting for her so we can eat. So thank you for spending time with me. Thank you for doing this thing. And I hope you liked the fact that I was a little bit earlier today. Let me know in the comments if this works out better, if this is better for you, and then we'll do it again more often. And hopefully I can start doing the videos pretty soon. And then we will do that. All right. See you guys in the next one. So how much does this Powerwall cost? Let's do a rundown on the prices of all the components. First, we have the solar charge controller available for $38.99, the bidirectional meter at $29.99, non-interruptible power supply available for $30. The battery modules are $50 each. There's 10 of them, so it's $500 in total. The 32-inch metal box is $59.22. A fuse holder is $682. The battery management system, the long ones are $14 each, and the main unit is like $200, so it comes down to a total of $342. All of these components come to a grand total of $1,008 US dollars. You can find the links for all these parts on the description of this video. I want to thank you for watching. Stay tuned for future videos all having to do with DIY renewable energy. Back to Puerto Rico for the third time. We're gonna help some people get some power. Internal resistance and okay, so here's a whole pallet of these modem ones. Look at these guys. So 11,000 cells right there, ready to be deployed in Puerto Rico.
You got yourselves?
I got myself.
All right. You got yourselves?
Yeah, I got myself.
All right.